Hello, welcome to the DLP Week 6 match between the MTA and CSA, the Cresselia Hustlers and the Montevera Hammers. I am
Yes,
Dakota, the coach of the Lavender Town Lamperts, and I am your host today, and I am joined here with our commissioner. How are you doing today, Clomps?
I'm doing pretty good so far. I've had a pretty nice morning, but let's just right let's just get right into this, Dakota. If you want to go ahead and start talking a little bit about these teams, with what you got
Yeah,
going
no.
on, and
So this is actually a really highly anticipated match. The Cresselia Hustlers were on a win streak, on a three week win streak there, till they till they ran into a belly bolt problem last week. However, the Montevera Hammers have been coached by one of the most impressive coaches in our league so far. He's really been pulling through with some underused mons so far.
yeah, I feel like my situation here with these two coaches is we got the Montanavera Hammers. They're up 4-1 on the season, right? They've been having a good game. Their only losses to the best coach in the league right now, which is Picknor and the Disruptive Terrakion. So it's one of those situations where genuinely, uh, PCR, this is a guy where if he's not first, he's at least second. Genuinely. And then Happy, like you already mentioned it, he's had a good stretch until he ran into the Lavender Town Lampent and their belly bolt there that kind of just stopped him dead in his tracks. He couldn't really get going. But this is a very important matchup, Dakota, because if Happy wins here, he gets the Hustlers single-handedly back into the conference race and back into his division race as well, right? And that's why it's one of the bigger matchups, I think, for week 6 here.
Well, and it looks like the Cresselia Hustlers did give themselves a chance. That Como, I think, is going to be really key in this matchup because it goes up against. I see four Mons on the other side that are going to be weak to a fighting type. And we also know that Serena gets low kick, so I would assume that the is going to be threatening a lot on the Hammer side here. But I mean, the most intimidating Mon on the Hammer side is actually the Hippowdon. The MVP race right now in our league is quite comical because right now it's being led by Golurk, then Venusaur. Sorry, I should correct this. Mega Golurk, Mega Venusaur, Mega Aerodactyl, Hippowdon, and then Mega Charizard X. So that Hippowdon has actually been one of the most threatening mons in our league. Definitely have to watch out about, for when it's going to be giving a boost to the Lycanroc, a speed boost to the Lycanroc, and it's also going to be chipping away at a lot of the mons on the other side. The only thing that I could see on the Cresselia Hustler side is that again this Como I think is going to be the key with Overcoat, just not taking
Yeah,
that residual damage. But I mean that sand is going to be helping out a lot on Montevera's side. So I think that
yeah.
I think I think this is going to be a really fun match to watch because of course, and we see the Whimsicott. I think the Whimsicott has been used this season in kind of an interesting way. You haven't seen it been used in like the traditional really annoying like
Support
encore.
mon kind of
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I do hope that the Whimsicott sits there and becomes really annoying this week. I think between the Whimsicott and the Como, I think positioning those things is going to be the kind of the key to the Cresselia Hustlers win this week. One thing I do think is interesting is that he brought the Gyarados, and Gyarados does not like rocks. So I'm going to be interested to see what the Gyarados is here for this week too.
I do think the Ariados is an interesting bring here just because, it has so many weaknesses into the specific 6 Pokemon that the Montanavera Hammers are bringing here. Specifically, like you brought up rocks, but then it has to face a Lycanroc, a Volcarona, and then an Aggron with some rock coverage maybe. That's not the most ideal situation for this Ariados. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what Happy and the Hustlers have in store for us on that one. For me, some of the big mons that I'm looking out for here is always the Hippowdon. Obviously, you already went through his whole spiel, but this Hippowdon, he's been so oppressive early in this season. His Sandstorm, his Stealth Rocks, just setting up good damage consistently over the course of 15 turns, close to 20 turns some games from the Montanavera Hammers. This is a team that really supports its slow chip, and there's just not a lot some of the teams they've played this season have been able to do against it. So we'll have to see how Happy fares against some of that stallier play there. Good
Yeah,
chip.
that is that is one thing that PCR and the Montevideo Hammers are kind of known for. Is just having some really long games, and so yeah, it is kind of funny to see him with the Mega Aggron and the Hippowdon, some of just like the most offensive mons you can think of. He really likes to drag these games out.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I have to give the edge to PCR and the Montanavera Hammers here, in my personal opinion. I feel like they do have a little bit of a good situation into a lot of this hustle.
Yeah, I mean, PCR is just. I think he's just been one of those coaches that just, my opinion, is overperformed his position, and it's been really impressive. But I don't want to count out Happy with the Hustlers at all because for one, he's been playing a great season, and I think this Coma O could be a problem for PCR this week. So the only thing that's really gonna stop it is the Slow King over here, and even then, it's like that's a pretty easy mon to deal with. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think there's something to be said. Happy, he's not just a coach that lays down and dies, right? Whenever he sees a not specifically good matchup into his team. But it's one of those things where I think if PCR did just enough prep, it's gonna be tough for Happy to kind of get into the swing of things with what he wants to do with this team.
yeah,
I think very obviously, I was going through this early on yesterday when I was in at work doing my job, but I was like, yeah, no, this Greninja has the potential to be such a big problem for PCR, and it's going to be one of the biggest keys to Happy, I think, winning this game, just because it hits into everything
yeah, that
pretty
Hydro Pump,
nicely.
as long as it's gonna land, the Hydro Pump can one hit KO half of his team. And so that is
Yeah.
very threatening. And if you put Ariados, I mean, Mega Greninja is very fast Mon, but I mean, Ariados could be putting down sticky webs at the beginning of the game. It could get really nasty for PCR if he gets out of position. He most likely has some
For
kind of
sure.
trick room mode with his Slow King there, but um, the speed control could be very key in this. I mean, if you've only got the one trick room setter and it gets taken out at some point, I mean, this Ariados can wall that that Slow King potentially. I mean, I guess it could have a psychic move on there that could do a lot of damage, but
Yeah, no, I was actually looking into the actual Slow King into this Hustlers matchup right here, and I was like, this is just this mod Loki has a lot of good answers for a lot of what Happy wants to do, especially once Greninja is out of the picture. So Happy's in a tough situation where he wants to be able to lead Greninja, but he also can't let it go down first turn, or it makes his matchup so much harder, you know?
I mean, I think putting it in the lead makes sense though. I mean, it's such a hard hitting mon, or depending on how he's going to play this Como. If the Como is going to be the key to the matchup, then having that thing sit out there in the front with the lead and trying to
Yeah.
maximize as much damage as he can at the beginning of the game, try to uh control PCR before he gets set up too.
hmm And yeah, no, this is a mon I don't think we see very much from PCR. But this is a very fun mon, and I think it's actually my dark horse for this game. I think it's gonna do its job for the most part, and it's gonna do it pretty well. This Pangoro, if you give this thing an AV, it just does not want to die a lot of times. And so, being able to get those boosted drain punches for a lot of HP back, get the knockoff coverage as well is just another big thing that this thing can do. Just be a real or disruption demon
I
at
would
the end of the day,
imagine
you
that it's
know?
probably there to kind of check that Snorlax, but I mean, like I said, the Como has really good fighting coverage, and and the Whimsicott's there too. It could be hitting with a Moonblast, and then the Serena gets low kick too. So I mean,
Yeah,
the dark typing is going to be working against it, but I do
they're in
understand.
game, by the way.
Oh, all right. I kept on checking and I
Just to
just
let you know.
missed it.
But yeah, no. I think there's something to be said about this Whimsicott. Obviously, Pangro is checked a lot by a lot of Happy's team, but I can see this thing potentially being really good if PCR catches Happy out of position a few times this game. And I think that's really, really important for PCR in a team where like a lot of his team is frail, and this is just a really good Pokemon to
I
well, a
think
lot of his team, half his team is kind
I
of
was gonna
frail.
say I feel like he's got
The
a
other
pretty
half
good
is pretty
balance to
bulky.
it. Yeah, he's got a really bulky team in my opinion. The only thing that I would say is frail is probably the Lycanroc and the Volcarona. Outside of that,
Lycanroc, Volcarona, and then Pangoro on a defensive side with like no invest could be a little bit of an issue here. But
yeah, especially against fighting coverage,
yeah, no.
because you did
But
mention
I
the assault vest possibility.
Yeah, and it's just an interesting matchup, I think, because these are two teams that are trying to impose their will on their opponents, you know?
Right, and so
All
we see
right.
the Slow King and the Volcarona lead for PCR, and we do see we see both the mons that I had mentioned in the lead is the Mega Greninja and the Kommo-o. So I do think that he's wanting to get set up with some damage dealers here early.
This is just such a hyper offensive lead here from Happy, like you just said. Yeah, no, this team is just so good at doing what it does. And we see that Hydro Pump actually go into the Volcarona, get it down to its sash, and it's a question of if this is Stealth
Ooh,
Rock from that
Stealth
Komodo
Rocks.
actually, and Trick Room comes up from that Slowbro or Slow King here.
That
So
Volcarona
this is
has to
interesting.
stay in now because if it switches out, it's dead.
Yeah, it's just sack fodder. Hmm.
So this is an amazing position right here. I mean, Kommo-o could be using Clangorous Souls right here and hitting spread move. That Volcarona is pretty much toast right now. This is really
Yeah,
really good lead for
we do see the
Happy.
Snorlax come out here. I think we
The
could see a
psychic
very
the psychic does hit the Kommo-o as he sets up an iron defense. This is pretty fun.
Heat Wave is not doing that much here comparatively.
Well, it is
That Dragon
resisted,
typing is really carrying right here on the defensive side,
but the
and this
fighting
Komodo
typing
is up
is
two now.
the fighting type's holding it back a little bit because the psychic did hit very hard. I would imagine this is probably just a protect, and then probably Snorlax is going to start doing something. I don't think that we're too concerned about the Volcarona at this point. It's not going to be doing a lot with the Heat Wave. Oh, okay, we do see the
Yeah,
switch out.
the Whimsicott will come out.
Ooh,
Focus
Focus
Blast
Blast,
crits and gets the drop. Oh lord,
man,
and Crunch goes into the Slow King
and
here.
gets
Gets the drop for the defensive side. Heat Wave should pick up the KO into that
ooh.
Snorlax
Oh,
here, and it does, but the Whimsicott just barely survives here.
yeah, and it wasn't. It didn't break its sash either. It survived on 4%, so that is pretty impressive. This is a very special defense, Whimsicott. However, the Snorlax going down is kind of significant, especially with the Whimsicott being left at 4% here. It's not going to be able to really utilize its prankster ability with anything
Mhm.
too disruptive because the last two moves that go off were attacks. So it will be interesting to see what Mon Happy decides to bring out here. I would imagine it's probably the Ariados. This would probably be a good time to start setting up the Ariados with only 2 turns of Trick Room left. But we do see the
Use
Serena come out.
Yeah, I think the Serena is an interesting bring here because it is 2 times super effective into any attack that's coming out here, pretty much. And genuinely, it's just not a great situation if you're happy. I think you're just trying to stall out Trick Room here, get your protects off,
Yep.
and then hopefully. Yeah, we do see the Sludge Bomb come off from that Slow King and the Giga Drain into the Volcarona to pick up the KO here, which is very interesting.
And that's actually good though because at least we got a KO. Ooh, the sand gets
There's
set by the
Sand.
Hippowdon. That means the Whimsicott is going to be going down after this turn. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to switch the Whimsicott out and save it for something later, or if he decides to sack it and set up the set up the next
I
mon
would
for the end of Trick Room.
I would expect to see an Ariados come out here if you're playing for the defensive here, just because there's not much you
Serena
have to worry
did
about with an
survive
Ariados.
this sludge
High
bomb, but
horsepower picks up the KO into Whimsicott, though.
knockoff
The
gets the KO on the Slow King. So the Serena did survive the turn. However, the
and Trick
Whimsicott
Room
did not.
is officially up. This is a good situation for Happy now. He's 4-4.
Well,
He's
I
got
would say
a
the Lycanroc is probably coming out, and then which it did. The Lycanroc did come out, and it's gonna be threatening with, I would imagine, Sand Rush.
yeah, and you have to worry about CC coming out into this Greninja now, and you also have to worry about it just being able to pick up good Rock Slide disruption as well. Though I don't think that's the play PCR needs to go for here.
I think he needs to worry about the Serena first, because I don't think that he can pick up 2 KOs in this turn. So he's probably going to be. He might need to make a read here. We do see the close
And we
combat
do
go
see
out,
the CC go into Grin here,
and
and
it's
the
a one-hit KO. Serena gets a
and
knockoff into the
knockoff comes
Powdon.
out.
Interesting. The choice, it knocked off the choice back or choice band,
It
and it
just enough to
just enough to
survive, but the
survive. But
Sand
the
picks up the KO.
so now
And this
Happy's
is
down to his Coma O and his Ariados here.
hmm it's looking a little rough if you're Happy here. That Trick Room really did what it needed for or needed to happen for PCR here. And now PCR is kind of in the driver's seat with this double speed control mode that he had with Lycanroc in the back. And the Hippowdon obviously carrying, as always, with his Sandstorm, getting that good chip, setting up lots of pressure, making it to where you can't run Sash safely. And now we're in a situation where Komodo Airdos is up, and there's not much that Happy can actually do
The
here.
close combat is resisted very well by the Ariados as it gets its body press goes off. High
I feel
horsepower
like
hits
this is.
but the citrus berry is procced on the Ariados. So rage powder did help a little bit.
I
Body
still feel
press,
like this is an interesting situation, though, to be honest, because we see that the Ariados actually has Rage Powder at this point in the game, and we didn't see it come out earlier, which makes me question what Happy's thought process was, having this in the back, knowing he had redirection, and bringing out Greninja into that Lycanroc there. Um,
body press
I
goes
feel
into
like
it. It's super effective, but still only does um, about 40%. And the iron defense goes up on the Aggron anyway, and the high horsepower picks up the KO on the Ariados.
it's not looking great for Happy. I think
I don't think he's got
PCR.
enough to finish off this match with
And we
that
do see
iron
Klinger's
defense.
skills come out. Body
Yeah,
Press will pick up the KO here, though, and that is another win for PCR here. Goes up 3-0 in the game and 6-0 or 5-1 on the season. So big congrats to PCR there.
yeah, he's been playing. I mean, he's been playing a wonderful season so far. It was a little bit threatening at the end there. I feel like with that Komao starting to get set up, but he handled it very well. The iron defense at the wall on the Aggron, man, and that
I
Hippowdon. The
would.
Hippowdon, I didn't count how many kills it picked up that match, but I think it was at least 2. I think there was a sand KO in there somewhere.
Yeah. I would
The
like to
Hippowdon
point out
is
that the body press from that Komodo actually was a crit and it only did 35%. So
yes,
that's
yeah,
that's what we're dealing with here in the wall, right?
right.
This Aggron was just the trump card for PCR. He knew it was going to clean up the game as long as he could get the physical attackers just being the last one standing. And he met his win cons, and he was very easily able to dispatch this Castelia Hustlers team.
Well, I think it was a pretty well played game. There was only there's only a slim margin for this win. I do think that at the beginning of the match. Do you want to try and get PCR in here?
Yeah, yeah, I'll
Um,
see if I can.
I think at the beginning of the match, very aggressive lead, trying to take out the Volcarona and then set Stealth Rocks while PCR set Trick Room. It was a very interesting exchange there. Do believe
I
that
do agree.
that Slowking was a bit of the issue with the Coma O getting set up.
hmm Yeah, no, this Slow King, I think I called it pregame. I was like, this Slow King has the potential to do the funniest thing, and it actually ended up being one of the most important pawns for PCR success here, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Um,
because it did stop the Como from getting set up too early and getting out of control, and then it also put a lot of pressure on the grass types that Happy had brought into the match too.
Hmm. Welcome, PCR. Yes, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Congrats on your win, going up 5-1 on the season. How you feeling right now?
Good. Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good, good. Good to have a win. Unfortunate the way it came, because I just lucked the Snorlax out of the game. I just crit plus drop. It's stupid. I didn't
Right.
even know
And was a
focus
focus
plus.
blast too?
Yeah,
Hmm.
this it's stupid. I didn't even know focus blast could drop stats.
That's insane.
I didn't even know focus
I
blast could
di-
land.
yeah, me
Yeah.
neither. Like, I mean, you can clearly see it wasn't my idea by the fact Focus Blast is a move I clicked. You can see what moves I decide in the teams and what Angel decides. If it has less than 90%, probably I didn't put it there.
Yeah, that's quite the gamble, but I mean, it did pay off. I mean, significantly, you got
Absolutely.
the drop and the and the
Crit.
crit. Yeah,
Yeah, the drop was absurd because then I can kill it easily with Heat Wave straight after. It's stupid.
it looked like the Galarian Slowking was kind of like your key to success this week because
Yeah.
I think if that Coma O would have got set up, it would have been really bad for you, honestly, because
Yeah, I agree.
it looked like
That's
he had Iron Defense and Body Press, and um, that hits really hard. That's stab +2 body defense. Even if it's coming at something like a Volcarona that's going to be neutral, it doing so much damage. And then also, I mean, half your team was weak to it, so I think stopping that setup was really key right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is also, yeah, the body press. I don't know if he had iron defense. I did. Oh yeah, he did click it earlier in the game. Yeah, true. Uh, but yeah, no, stopping that one was the important thing, and putting up Trick Room fast was the most the important thing on the game, because that's why of that lead. It was kind of prepped.
Right.
That lead was
So you did
I mean,
account
unless
for
they bring
having
some.
Volcarona in Trick Room?
Yeah, I mean, Volcarona was there just to, put it. Let's put the trick room up,
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
then we'll see what happens. Because, everyone is kind of scared of touching Volcarona because of Flame Body anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah,
No, I think that
This is
I knew it could target the Volcarona anyway, just because of,
well,
uh,
once the rocks
like,
went
you
up and
know.
your sash was broken, it was
Oh, yeah,
staying
no,
on the it
I
was staying
can.
on the field regardless.
Yeah, I'm not switching out. It was so yeah. No, I didn't expect the stealth rocks. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that
Um,
either. I don't know how much value came out of that, considering you had a lot of mons that were resisting it. But it was interesting to
yeah,
see it get set up with that Volcarona on the field, which I would imagine is probably what it was there for, is to remove the Volcarona. But
yeah. It
yeah,
probably
it
wasn't
just trapped it.
expecting. Yeah, it probably wasn't expecting Bulk to be on lead. Which, to be fair, he has a lot of things that can destroy Bulk. Uh, so I probably Volcarona. I have a lot of things Volcarona is good into also, because the bug type matches really well into their team. The fire type matches really well into everyone who's not Green Ninja.
Right. Well,
Um,
the Como did resist it too.
yeah, but it's more of a even matchup at that point. Because uh, he cannot touch me with body press, and also the fighting type moves are resisted by Volcarona, so he has to attack me with Clangross Soul and drop his defense. It's more of a trade-off at that point. But yeah.
I mean, I think you did handle it well. And the Como there at the end was starting to get a little bit scary, Especially you got that crit on the Hippowdon. But I mean, I think after you set up that iron defense on the Aggron, it was kind of over.
Yeah.
That was kind of your checkmate move, was the iron
Yeah, no,
defense.
that was like, you know what? Let's just click it. I haven't done it yet this season, you know? Like, I know it's week 6, but I think this is the first kill Agron got.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, he has been doing more by just existing than actually doing stuff.
Well, I mean, if anything, your mega this season has been Hippowdon.
Yes, you know, like to cite Timothy Cole, he said, "I love the hippo." I do too. You know, like I love the hippo.
Well, it's really hard to take off the field.
Yeah, no, it's absurd. Like it's just, you know, you look at him, like you see he's fat, and then you try to attack him, and you realize he's fatter than ever.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you've mostly been bringing it with a choice band, but I mean, there's nothing stopping you from putting an assault vest on this thing and just making it a second wall next to Aggron too.
Yeah, no, I think I probably had in 1 week. Like it's been a bit of everything with this Hippowdon. I had leftovers some weeks, choice band this time, maybe an assault vest one time. I don't remember because sometimes like the assault vest gets thrown on Hippowdon during team building. Then Nature is like, you know what? You get more kills if you go choice band. And I'm like, okay. And then I play it, it gets kills, and then I'm like, you know what? Angel was right.
Yeah, it seems like you've got a really good second coach there supporting you. And
They're great.
And the sand is picking up KOs. I think the sand picked up 2 KOs in this game alone. So
I
I
like
think it picked up the area.
if we look at stats, like Hippowdon has stupid numbers. Like just I think he has like something like at least 8 kills. Or like maybe with this game it might reach 10. Like he might be leading the league in kills, which is a
I don't
stupid
know.
thing
I
to
think
say before
the
the season
Golurk
started.
has still got it beat.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
The
But, like,
Golurk's
you know,
real
the
broken.
Golurk is supposed to be there, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. The Hippo is it. The Hippo's beating out my Charizard X right now.
It should have happened.
So we're about to go into the season break and start the in-season tournament, and your first opponent is Spanish with the Kanto Koraidons. Tell me a little bit about your next matchup, how you're feeling about it.
Not good. I never liked playing against Spanish. Not because I don't like him. Quite the opposite. It's just, you know, every match with him is weird.
It's
And I just, no.
every match that you play against him, it seems like you're gambling, right? You don't know what he's doing, and sometimes it works, and then you're really out of position.
Yeah, like whenever anyone plays against Spanish, I promise you, neither you nor Spanish will know what's going on. Spanish will claim he knows what's going on. He's lying. Like it's just weird matches. You know, it's nice to have them once or twice a season, no more than that though, because they're weird. They're like a micro universe in the DLP.
Clumps, you got any final questions to wrap this up?
Specifically about the set, I was gonna say you had a very successful game, start to finish PCR. You had everything go your way. You got phase 1 Trick Room, then you had your speed control in the second half under control the entire game. Is that something you try to focus on in prep with Angel every week, or is this just a matchup specific thing?
I think Angel is really good at, you know, looking at numbers of speeds and like telling me like, yeah, you can do this and that. Because like even this week, like the plan was like, you know, maybe if we can place more than one trick room. But then during the game you have to adapt to stuff, you know? And I'm like, yeah, no, the slow king is gonna die here. Let's just pivot to, you know, the Hippowdon Lycan Rock faster mode. So like yeah, no, like it's mostly Angel doing the calcs on the speed and then explaining them to me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this works. Because but like let's just say the big difference between last season and this season, like you have actual spreads instead of vibes.
Yeah, I can tell in how you're playing and how your Pokemon are playing it out. There's a lot more work going into it in the spread side of things. Clearly it's working in some regard. Just
Yeah.
because of how well you're playing, how well your team is executing every single week. And genuinely, that's just one of those things where I appreciate it. I love watching a Montanavera Hammer match where it's like, yeah, no, this team is very consistent in what it does. And I just wanted to thank you for going in and giving it your all every week, in the prep phase and in the actual battling phase.
Yeah, no, like it's just fun to play these games, to be honest, and
Yeah, this is a really fun league to participate in, just because everyone's really talented.
And also, like, everyone has a personality, that's the thing. Like, this league is nice because we have actual people. We don't have we don't have almost anyone who you're like, oh yeah, I know nothing about them, as like, what's their personality, who are they, Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
play
more of a
Happy, I
community.
know who Happy is, Like, that's the nice thing about this. Like, maybe in a few days we'll catch up on VC, me and Happy, and be like, oh, what about that match? And I'm like, oh, sorry, Happy, I whiffed the crit of the Focus Blast. I'm like, because like, this is what makes it fun. Because, like, if you have just, a bunch of matches in a row where you're like, I don't know who any of these people are, and like they all look the same, also in the team building phase, because like you have different people who build the teams in different ways this league, and you're like, it builds like these storylines, let's say, that makes sense, like I'm like, yo, like me and Happy played playoffs last season, they went to game 5, so this game is like, a rematch of that, which makes it very nice.
Yeah. And I think this matchup, I was really hyped for it because it was particularly from a Happy point of view, a revenge game for him, right? Like he wanted to try to snag this game. And you obviously outperformed, got a little bit lucky there. But generally you were like, no, I still own you in this game. How's that feeling? Being able to like take a game off of what I would consider to be one of your rivals at this point in the league history.
I mean, it's nice, but at the same time, I'm like, uh, like Happy has been doing great this season. Like, because like you see the score and it's like 3-3 now, but like I don't think it actually shows what he's doing. Like, this season is like, uh, he's playing better than last season by far.
Oh yeah,
Like
no.
he's gotten so much better, and so like getting the win against him now means a lot because he's a good player. He built a good team, and like even though he's 3-3, I think he's better than anyone else on 3-3. Like
Right.
it's just an unfortunate schedule, I'm gonna guess, because like who did he lose to? Yeah, Lolo Mola, then Dakota and me. Like the first week matches we all know, are a bit weird. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And Codebreaker, he's just being a good coach at this point in the season. Like he's had a very good start to the season. He's in control of his division, and genuinely, it's not something anyone expected. So I can't blame Happy for dropping week 1 to Codebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, like the Codebreaker figure doesn't make any sense.
So I was going to mention
Like,
something in the match to sorry to
oh,
interrupt
go
you
on.
there. I just thought this was interesting, and it's part of like what I was trying to say earlier is that the league is so good that like the margin for error in a win and a loss is really slim. On turn 6, we see the Como come back out with the Ariado sitting there. I think that if this Como would have gone for an iron defense rather than the body press, then this Ariados could have survived for another what's it called?
Turn.
Rage powder. And the
Yeah.
this could have this could have gotten a little ugly because the
Yeah.
rest of your mons were weak to fighting, and those body presses were going to be hitting really hard. It would have been just an interesting thing to see play out.
Yeah, true. But like also, there's the thing like of
Mega Aggron
getting
was
rid
not
of the
going dead.
Lycanroc. Yeah, but like the getting rid of the Lycanroc is really good for him. But like, because like seeing the Rage Powder come, like next turn I could have gone for a Rock Slide, and I don't know the calc of Rock Slide into Ariados, but like if he gets
It
a
probably
kill,
doesn't survive a rock slide.
like and there's these things that you're like I want to get rid of the Lycanroc because like I don't blame him for that play actually. Like I don't know if I would have done the same, or I would probably risking it with Iron Defense would have been technically better, but like the game is so much in a bad situation for him already that like I don't blame him for it.
Oh, certainly not. I think getting the damage off is still a good play and everything. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
no,
mention it because there was still a chance, honestly, in my opinion. At least.
Yeah,
I think
no,
there
like-
was like a window, a line that he could have rode and made
Yeah,
this a
because
really
like I mean
interesting game.
at that point he has to hope I do something wrong. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing, and like the only way you can take advantage of that is probably with the Iron Defense. So yeah, that makes sense.
But anyway,
If
PCR,
that's
it was.
all,
Go ahead.
is that all we have?
Yeah, I was about
I was
to
gonna
wrap
say
this
I'm
up.
out.
Yeah, I was about to wrap this up. PCR, congratulations on your victory this week. You are
Thank
now
you.
5-1. You're in second place, only behind Picanor, who is undefeated. And we're going to be starting our in-season tournaments here pretty soon too. And then here in a little bit, in about 30 minutes, we're going to have a second match between the who are they? We got Gamer versus Slot Speech. It's just going to be a really fun
This is
match.
going to be a very good match, actually. I'm very, very excited for this one.
Yeah, two staples of the league.
Obviously, I know a little bit more about G for Gamers team since I've helped him prep a little bit. But yeah, no, this Lots team, he's looking to be one of the top teams in the league, I think. Kind of get rallying going into the second half of the season.
Well, thanks for joining us, PCR. It was nice talking to you, and congratulations on your season so far.
Yippee!
Well, and with that, we're going to be wrapping up our first of our doubleheader matches. Thank you for joining us on the DLP